Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Lucy, and most of my content centers around Korean and Asian skincare, product reviews and tips and tricks and things like that. However, I also really enjoy doing my nails, and I did a couple polls recently, one here on YouTube and one on Instagram, about what you'd like to see next, and the overwhelming majority wanted an updated Ohora tutorial for their nail strips. So I picked this design. I bought a lot of them when I first discovered it, so I'm still working through my stash. The nails look like this. They come in a little light safe box because these are semi-cured, meaning they're real gel, and they are cured enough to where you can handle them and apply them, but then you need to finish curing them under an LED or a UV lamp, and you don't want to expose them to the light because they might harden and finish the curing process, and then you won't be able to use them on your nails. You also get a couple of prep pads, and then this little baggie here with a nail file and a cuticle pusher or an orange stick. I tend to not use these two things, but I'll show you what I use instead. I am not a nail tech by any means. I'm just a nail enthusiast. I've been doing my own nails for over 7 years now, partially because of the time constraints, partially because I'm just honestly very cheap, and it's just easier for me to do them at night at home after the kids are in bed. The most important thing for a good manicure, in my experience, is prep. And sometimes that might seem like too many steps or it's excessive. I've had feedback on my videos before where people are saying, oh, it's not necessary to do all these steps, and that's fine. You do whatever works best for you, whatever gives you the best results. But if I am going to sit down and spend an hour doing my nails at home, I want them to last 2 weeks or very close to 2 weeks, and I want them to look really good for those 2 weeks. So what I did is I pushed back my cuticles. You can definitely trim your cuticles if that's what you like. I don't cut them because they tend to grow back jagged, and in general I feel like it's safer in the home environment just to push them back. Never had any issues with doing that. You can also use, instead of a metal cuticle pusher, you can use one of these things. It's a rubber tip. It takes a little bit longer to do that with a rubber pusher, but you can certainly do that, especially if you're trying to minimize kind of the amount of different nail tools that you own. The next step is to degrease your nails, and you can use the included prep pads, or honestly, I've had really good luck just using little alcohol pads like these. I get mine at Costco. They sell them in really big boxes, just like everything else at Costco. But for the sake of this video, let's use the Ohora pad. I would also suggest avoiding putting thick lotions or oils on your hands before you do your manicure, as well as taking long baths or showers or doing dishes right before you apply nails, just because it seems to really saturate your nails in excess moisture, and that does tend to shorten the life of the manicure in my experience. But if you absolutely can't avoid that, then that's okay. Ohora gives you quite a few strips here. I've done some comparison videos between Ohora and Nailog, and Ohora and Dashing Diva, both gloss and glaze. If you're interested in those, check out my nails playlist. The one thing about Ohora is their nail strips are fairly short. They're definitely long enough for the average nail, I would think, but they're not so long that you can make one go for 2 nails. With some brands, I'm able to cut down the middle and use one strip for 2 nails. That is not a possibility with Ohora. So step 1 here before applying is to find the right size of strip for your nail. These do stretch. You can stretch them horizontally to make them wider. You can stretch them vertically to make them a little bit longer. But I try to find a size that is as close to my nail as possible without any manipulation, if I'm at all able to. And also, I would say if you are between sizes, go down instead of up, because if your nail strip is too wide, then it will most likely overlap and lift at the edges, and you will not have a long-lasting manicure. I think this one right here is probably pretty close to what I need. So these come sandwiched in between the backing, the clear backing, and then there's a little protective film on top. Let's see if I can grab that. Now, I know my nails are very dry. That is not from using nail strips. That is from having an autoimmune condition. So don't worry, if your nails are healthy, your nail strips should not damage them or dry them out. Proper removal is very important, however, and I do have a video up on my channel in that nails playlist on how to remove any brand of nail strip without damaging your nails. So I'm going to put that down the middle. Try not to touch the sticky side on the back, and then push it down. And don't press too hard. You don't injure yourself, but definitely put a little bit of muscle behind that, because you don't want to have any air bubbles there between your fingernail and that little sticker. Okay, and these stickers are domed, so they are a little bit thinner toward the edges and a little bit thicker in the middle to give you that real gel manicure look like you would have if you were to get your nails professionally done. Then I take a rubber tip cuticle pusher. I don't use the wooden stick that they provide because these are still soft, and I don't know if I can show you this, but look right here on the end. If I push hard on it, do you see that? It dented. So if you push hard on these strips before you finish curing them, before your manicure is final and all done, you can definitely damage them and dent them. And it's more visible probably in maybe some lighter colors. This one's pretty dark, so maybe I could get away with it. But I like this rubber tip little pusher because it is much softer, but it still gets a nice seal, and I get into all these little potential nooks and crannies there, especially since I have some ridges on my nails, to really have a nice close seal between the nail and the sticker. For my ring finger, I want to do a design, so I'm going to go with this size here. Same thing, just peel off this part. Take that off. Try not to touch the sticky side that you're going to apply to your nail, and then put it down as close to your cuticle line without going over the cuticle line. And I will tell you right now, if you put down a sticker and you can just tell that it's too big or it's overlapping or just doesn't look quite right, go ahead and take it off and do another one. It is so much better to fix it right now while you're still doing your manicure than to have it pop off a day later or 2 days later when you think your nail is already done and maybe you're doing something with your hands and boom, you lose a sticker. That is so frustrating, especially if you spend your free time doing this. I've been putting some of these on off camera because that's a lot easier for me than trying to maneuver with the camera between me and my hand, but I just wanted to show you quick how to stretch them. So I want to use this sticker on my index finger, but it's just a little bit too narrow. And all you do is you take it off just like you would any other sticker, and then you grab the edges very gently and just pull slightly to get them wider. And I don't know if you can notice that on the video, but I can see that it's stretched a little bit and this edge is no longer perfectly straight, but that's actually fine. It's usually not noticeable once you get them on, and then you just apply as usual. The first time I do an application with a brand new box like I'm doing today, where I have all of the sizes and all of the options, I typically don't have to do any stretching really unless I want a specific design and maybe I'm just running low on the design stickers from the back. But when I go to do a second set, I usually can get 2 manicures from one pack. That's when normally I would need to be a little creative with the sizing. Once all your nails are on, you have to trim the excess. I strategically start applying my nails from the ring finger all the way out because I use my index finger and my thumb a lot during application, so I kind of keep them clear for as long as I can. And then once I'm done, I trimmed most of these off camera, but I'll show you how I do it. You can use clippers here if that is easier for you, but I grew up using manicure scissors and I am very bad with clippers. So I like to leave my nails before I even start the manicure a little bit longer than my ideal length, because when I trim these, I trim a little bit of the nail with the sticker. And that way they are perfectly flush against each other and you never want the sticker to be longer than your nail, because that's when you can have some catching and lifting, and the overall goal for me with these is to make them last as long as possible. Now you might notice that my nail isn't perfectly shaped. None of them are perfectly shaped right now, and that is okay. The next step here is to cure them under a lamp, and you can't file these until after you've cured them, because right now these are still semi-soft and it's impossible to file them when they're like that. A couple things before I cure. First of all, I put all the leftovers into the little box here because I don't want them to get cured accidentally, because then they're not going to be usable, and I still want to use them for another manicure. And the second thing, I use these UV protective gloves, so basically kind of like sunscreen for your hands. I mean, most of my content here is skincare related, and sunscreen is the most important skincare stuff. So I put these on to protect my hands from the lamp. If you don't have these, they're pretty inexpensive, and I'll put links for everything I'm using down in the description box. But if you don't have them, you can just put on some sunscreen. Just make sure that you degrease your nail beds afterwards so that that doesn't affect the longevity of your manicure. And then lastly, a lot of places that sell nail strips, like Ohora and Dashing Diva and Naillog and Jalsi and all these other brands, they all have their own little lamps, but those lamps are usually tiny. They're usually about this big. I mean, they're probably a dime a dozen, to be honest, and I don't like them very much. I use a big lamp. This is something I've had from before. I don't know that the brand really matters, but I prefer a big lamp like this where I can fit an entire hand in there, and I feel like it just does a better job. So I do a couple of cycles of 60 seconds each per hand. There we go, it's starting. I'm going to put 60 seconds in and then just stick my hand in there, and you can see how this one's pretty nice. These ones are not getting made anymore. This is actually from my MLM days of selling Jamberry a long time ago, and I have a video about that cringy experience on my channel as well. But any kind of lamp will probably work. I just prefer these better made ones, these more robust ones, to the little cheapy ones that you can get free with your order sometimes. But if you've never ever used any kind of at-home gel system before and you just want to try it, then those little ones do a decent job as well. These are fully baked on now, and they might not look very different on camera, but if you remember earlier how we were able to press on a nail and it dented, they no longer dent. The rubber cuticle pusher actually just kind of slides off of them now. They're nice and hard, so it's time to shape them. I don't really like the little nail file that comes with these. It's pretty flimsy, so I use my own. I apologize, it's a little bit used. It's not super brand new and pretty, but it works. Filing back and forth like this is not the best for your nail. It can fray your nail as well as potentially damage the sticker maybe. So I like to go just one direction, either from one side to the other side, or if you didn't trim them together with the nail and maybe you have a little bit of an overhang of your sticker, you can angle your file a little bit down like this, so it's at 45-degree angle like this against your nail, and then kind of file down a little bit to make them flush against each other. Well, here they are. They're all shaped, and technically we're done. We can stop, that's it. You can go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. But I add one more step. Doesn't take very long, but it significantly prolongs the lifespan of these, while also just making them look a little bit better, because I think from this perspective here, they look pretty good. But if we look at the free edge right there, because the stickers are domed, like I said, so they're thicker in the middle and thinner toward the edges, they do add a certain thickness here, and you can really tell with a free edge, and that's what majorly makes them different from getting a professional manicure, because when you get a professional manicure with actual polish or actual gel polish, they will cap that free edge, and you're not going to have such a stark contrast between nail and sticker. So I found a workaround that, and that is to top them off with a clear gel coat. I personally prefer to use a gel coat that needs to be cured as well. I know there's some no cure ones, but those tend to peel just like polish does, and I don't want my stickers to outlast the top coat. that would look a little bit strange if the top coat was peeling off of the stickers, right? So I use the ones that you cure. I really like the Gelish brand, and I'll put a link to them. But for those, I usually do the base coat first on top of these, cure it, and then do the top coat and cure it, because that's how Gelish is designed to be used. The top coat there is designed to go on top of either another gel color or a base coat. But recently I got this. It was sent to me as PR. It's a Gelsey brand, and it's a one-step top gel. Does it have to be this brand? No, you can use whatever you want, but maybe find one that's one step because it's a little bit faster. The way I do it, first thing is we're going to cap the free edge. So you're going to take the brush and just carefully, without touching the skin, cap that free edge. And I apologize if you can hear the circus that's going on upstairs, because my children are always the loudest when I'm filming. Once you do the free edge, then you will cover the rest of the nail from the bottom up. And the reason we do it in that order is because doing that free edge creates a little thickness right around the tip there. And if you did your main nail first and then cap the free edge, you're going to have that little thicker line there, and it bothers my inner perfectionist. So I try to avoid that. I'll show you one more nail, and then I'll probably finish the rest of them off camera, because again, it is just really difficult to balance everything here. So we're going to cap the free edge like this, and try not to get it on the skin. If you bake the gel to the skin, it will start lifting from the skin part eventually, maybe not today, but tomorrow or the third day, and it's going to basically like crack off. Because gel and polish and stickers, they just don't stick to skin very well, so you want to avoid doing that. So just follow in that same fashion the rest of the nails, and then I cure it for 1 minute under a lamp. Alright, these are all done, and to me they look pretty good. I usually get some kind of comments on my videos saying, sorry, these don't look like you went to the salon. Well, of course, because I didn't. But to me, they look really good, and they last pretty decent. Ohora is not the longest lasting gel strip that I've ever tried, but they're pretty good. Usually, if there's some kind of issue, it's at the cuticle line for me. Sometimes everything looks perfect, but maybe on day 6 or 7 or sometimes 10, I will start getting hair caught right there at the cuticle, and pressing it down really well while you're applying, especially using a rubber cuticle pusher, really helps. I also saw a tip online where people take acetone or polish remover and dip a brush into it and then kind of brush it around to thin this edge, and I'm just not willing to put that kind of time in. If you look at promotional videos that Ohora puts out, they make it sound like you just need 5 minutes. Oh, just degrease the nail, slap these on, trim, bake, you're done. Honestly, it takes much longer than that, and I've never had a strip take 5 minutes like that. Maybe the press-ons from Dashing Diva, but they also don't last 2 weeks, so there's always a trade-off. But this is what that free edge looks like now. If you look right there, it's all shiny, it's all one thing now. There's not that big separation between nail and sticker. I mean, you can still see it if you really look, but to the touch, it all feels like one unit, and to me that's good enough. I actually really like this design, and in general, Ohora makes really pretty designs. When I first got into these, you could only get them on the official Ohora website, and unless you bought, I think, $80 worth, which is a big commitment right away, you had to pay $18 shipping. But now you can get these on Amazon, which is awesome to me, because if you just want to try one, great. Amazon Prime has your back. That's it for today's tutorial. Like I mentioned, don't forget to check out my removal videos, because that's very important to do gently and carefully, not to sabotage the health of your nails. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, or what other content you might want to see. Thank you so much for joining me today. You can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com, and in my private Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics. We are almost at 70,000 members, which just blows my mind. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week. I'll see you in my next video. And until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much. Bye.